How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Can you see me?
I can. Can you hear and see me?
Yeah, very clearly, Gilby.
Right on. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. So where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in my recording studio.
Ah, nice, very nice, mate. So you all safe there right now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've already been vaccinated. I was vaccinated about a month ago,
Oh, wow,
so
that's
I'm
very
good.
good. It's
Yeah,
excellent, mate. Hey, first of all, we are here to talk about Gospel Truth, mate, the album. So I'm not going to ask you why it has taken you 20 years between Swag and the Gospel Truth, mate. As far as I'm concerned, it's because you did not consider yourself as a solo artist at that time, and it wasn't your priority. And the other reason is because the music scene has changed over the last 20 years.
Mhm.
And I guess the only reason why, well, not the only, but one of the reasons why that you've recorded is because one of your friends pretty much kick your ass, mate, who questioned about your artistic stance. And you were saying, hey, you know what? You're right. Let's do this.
Mhm.
Um, so my question is, right, you are one of the best, well, you are one of the best practitioners of one of the coolest jobs in the world. Um, why it has taken you that long? I mean, surely it's better than being a guest attendant.
Mhm. So there's a couple answers to that question. One of them is I never intended to be a solo artist. It was just something that kind of happened. It's like I made a record, I made another record, another record. It was just it was an outlet for me to record my own songs the way that I wanted to do them. When you record with a band, you lose control. It's everybody has to be happy, so it's kind of hard. So I never intended to be a solo artist. So I never really thought I had a schedule of, oh, let's make a record every couple of years. But there was a few years where I did make it every couple of years because I was performing a lot. So when the 2000s hit, I made Swag. Right after that, I made a Colonel Parker record, and then I got involved with Rockstar Supernova. A lot of things started happening. Heart, like touring. The solo stuff kind of got put on the back burner. And then later on, like in the 2010s or whatever, I started playing more as a solo artist. And I thought, what do I have to make a record for? It's a lot of work to make a record. It's a lot. We don't have the traditional record labels. We don't have the traditional publicist, marketing, all those things that a lot of of us artists grew to know doesn't exist anymore. So I had that attitude for a long time. And then one day I ran into a friend of mine and we had a very long conversation about this. And he kind of like said, I think you're full of shit. And he called me and I went, huh, all right. He goes, you are an artist. I go, absolutely. I go, I consider myself an artist. He goes, well, what are you creating? So rather than defending myself, I thought about that. I went, wow, you're kind of right. I kind of write a song here or there for someone else. So that kind of jumped me into let's start this process. And don't get me wrong, the process is hard. Like I said, without the traditional labels and the money and all that, it's hard making a record of getting the guys together in the same town at the same time. It's hard. It's hard writing the songs, the lyrics, the riffs and all that stuff. That process to do it right, it takes some time and some planning. But once I started that process, it was easy. It all comes back. It all came back. There are things on the record that were important to me. Look, it's a rock and roll record. That's it. I'm not trying to change the world or anything. It's loud guitars and I'm yelling over it. I get that. But I'm not taking the easy way out. I worked hard on lyrics. I worked hard on my vocals. You're not going to, when a lot of modern music now, you're listening and the rhyme that's going to happen. Oh, baby, I love you. Baby, I know what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Not on my record. I didn't do that. I made sure the rhymes were something that meant something. It was important to me. So I put a lot of work into things like that, lyrically, even chord changes. You hear a song and you know what chord change is going to go to. So I worked on that stuff. That took time. So that's a long answer, but that is the process that I took to make this record.
Yeah, excellent. So let's talk about the one of singles, the Gospel Truth. Um, the, it is about the concept of truth, isn't it?
Yes.
So what areas are you referring to? Are you talking about politics, the media, relationship, sex? What is it about?
It's really about the concept of modern truth, of today, modern truth. I have noticed, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoy Instagram. You know, I'm not a Facebook guy, but I like Instagram. It's kind of fun. I like posting pictures on my motorcycle and things like that. But when I'm working with other artists in my studio, whether I'm just playing guitar or producing, people make these statements that are sometimes full of shit, but people accept them as the truth just because they said it. It's almost like, well, it's out there, so it's published. Remember in the old days, if you wrote a book, what you said is published. That meant something. Well, now everything's published. Everything's out there, you know? So it kind of like hit me. It bothered me because I work hard as a human being to be authentic. And what that means is if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer. I'm not going to, give you a full of shit answer. And so there's repercussions that come with being authentic. You don't please everybody. You're going to have some enemies along the way. So that was my approach to the gospel truth. This is my truth. It might not be your truth, but it's my truth. And I'm just tired of that. It's like somebody says something, okay, well, he said it, it's true. And they're too lazy to like back it up, to follow up. I mean, hey, wait a minute, that person wasn't in that band. Hold on a minute. So that's what I'm saying. It's my truth.
Yeah. And Roberta Freeman, she's in his songs, isn't she? Roberta Freeman.
Absolutely. She's doing the background vocals. Yeah. All the wonderful gospel singing. That's Roberta Freeman.
Wow. It seems that the legacy of your previous band is still carrying on, man, to you. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Teddy Zigzag played all the organ on it. Teddy's still a dear friend. Roberta, of course. I mean, these people are friends. These people come over to my house for dinner. We have drinks together. We're friends.
Cool friends. The other one is Rock and Roll is Getting Louder. To me personally, it sounds like it is about rising from the ashes and conquering the demons from something that you love doing. In your case, it could be riding your motorcycle into the sunset or play music. So what's the take on that music? Is it literally about rock and roll?
It's a little bit about everything. It's a little bit about challenges. We're being challenged right now. Is rock and roll dead? Rock and roll is not dead. It's getting louder. There's some great music out there. If you take the time and find it, Rival Sons are a fantastic new young band. That ain't dead. That's great. Greta Van Fleet is a good new young band. There's some good stuff going on out there right now. You just have to pay attention and dig. Some of these bands, classic rock bands, are kind of getting, fat and lazy. Write a record that was as good as the record that you have to play every night. It's like that's our challenge. So when I wrote this song, this is really about, to me, it's a challenge. No, rock and roll is getting louder. It's also, there's things in it like I got in an accident with my motorcycle, right? And man, I went down, man. I broke both my legs, man, and I was out for 6 months. But I got back on my bike and I rode to Sturgis and I got my patch, my broken wings patch. So, what I'm saying, it's overcoming these challenges that happen to us. Don't let these challenges knock you down or knock you out. You really got to overcome them. Otherwise, like I say, what are we doing here?
Sure. So what bike do you have?
I have a few, sorry. I'm a Harley guy, so I got that one. It was a 1965 Harley. I have a 41, I have a 70, and I got a new one, a new Road King.
That's awesome. The other one is tightwad. By definition, it means cheapskate. Is this song about someone that you know?
It's about a lot of ones I know. In the motorcycle world, we do a lot of riding, and then we hit the pub or the bar and stuff, and we all have our beers and our shots and stuff, and it's time to get the check, and we're always going, wait a minute. Why am I always putting in a 20 for my $5 drink? So that's what that song's about. It's tongue in cheek, but it's really about, come on, guys, it's just money. We'll make more. I mean, I understand that it's tough out there, but that's what it's about. It's just a tongue in cheek way of, like I said, when we're all hitting the bar and nobody's anteing up.
I guess you are a rock star, so you could afford, several rounds of beers, mate.
Well, I hope so at this point. I mean, I don't look at it as being a rock star. I look at it, look, when you become 50 years old, come on, you got to make some changes in your life. I hope that you've been successful at whatever it is you're doing. You don't want to be 50 years old and you can't afford to buy a round of drinks for your friends. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And Nicky Six, he is the bass player for this song,
On
right?
tightwad, just tightwad. Yeah. Nikki
Yeah.
Sixx played bass and Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction played drums. To me, what a combination.
How do you know these people? I mean, obviously, how do you know these people, but are they your personal friends at all before?
We're all friends. Everybody that's on the record is a friend. Everybody is somebody, like I said, I've had drinks with. They've been to my house. Look, we live in a wonderful place here, Los Angeles. There are a lot of people that are wonderful musicians. We gravitate to each other. Some of the guys, we ride motorcycles together. Some of them, like I see them all the time at shows. We had a great jam night out here for years and years called Lucky Strike Jam. And then it became the Ultimate Jam, where all of us are hanging out, just playing music together. So no, it's just a really nice cesspool of musicians.
We have a lot of Motley Crue fans here. How's it like to work with Nicky Sixx?
Well, once again, Nikki's a friend. I go out to dinner with Nikki. It's like, a matter of fact, as we're talking right now, my wife is having lunch with Nikki's wife. So we're friends. We've been friends for a long time. I knew Nikki before Motley Crue. So some of us have been around a long time, and we, like I said, it's not just about music. Nikki and I never talk about music when we hang out. We're talking about other things. Now he lives in Wyoming. And we're learning about Wyoming now.
I thought you guys were talking about, sex or rock and roll, but obviously.
No, not anymore. Hey, look, when we were younger, yeah, but now, no, not so much.
Nah, you're right. Hey, the first three singles is not your typical, not the first three, the first three releases, not your typical I Like You ballads. It has a bit of demonstration feel to it, a vibe to it. There is a bit of venting as well. So did you plan it out this way from the start?
Well, so once again, it's a new world out there with releasing music, and I don't really know these things. I don't know how they make records. My job is to write, record, and perform. I don't care about when the songs get released, where they get released. But I was informed by the label, look, we need to do a couple singles before, a video here and there, things like that, kind of gets the attention. And then we released a full record. So it was me that picked what songs came out. I really thought it was important that Rock and Roll is Getting Louder was the first single. I think it's a good track that really represents the whole record, and then The Gospel Truth, and then Tightwad. We did pick those. I picked those in a certain order. But now I think the record stands. It's like, now it's out, you pick what song you like. I already know what I like.
So are you the kind that has 40 songs and you pick 12, or you?
I don't do that. When I make a record, so here's what's different about this record. Most of my solo records will have 10 or 11 songs, usually 2 cover songs. There's no covers on this record. I actually wrote about 12 songs for the record, but I put 10 originals on it. So I thought that was a good accomplishment for myself, because like sometimes I will rely on a cover song. And there were 10 strong songs that stood on its own, in my opinion, once again. But I do not write 40 and pick 10. I write 10 and put 10 on.
Yeah. So the album has a lot of groove, blues, hard rock, sleaze, swagger for sure, with influences from the likes of Tom Petty and Ace Frehley and and the likes of Keith Richards. So growing up, did you listen to those guys' music? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of music. When I was young and first discovering music, I pretty much liked whatever they gave me. I like Aerosmith. I like Kiss. I like Led Zeppelin. I liked Foghat. I liked Ted Nugent. I liked everything. I mean, as I grew into a musician, I started gravitating more towards, real guitar music. But then I had an English girlfriend when I was young. And when I was going in the direction of like Rush and UK, she turned me on to The Clash. And that just turned me around. And man, I love The Clash. Clash led to Elvis Costello, The Pretenders. These are the bands that I really, really, really enjoy. That took me back to the New York Dolls, the Sex Pistols. So all that stuff is in there. It's all a part of me. Like I said, these aren't traditional rock songs where there's a long solo and then a breakdown and this. These are pretty much, like I said, pop rock songs, really.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that it's really hard work to produce a song. But so someone in like you who has been in the industry for 40 years, um, do you feel you are still evolving musically? Like you still learn new things after so long at the peak?
I hope so. I hope so. I never feel I'm done. Even making this record, there were moments where I learned. Um, I'm very controlling as far as my own records. Like I like to produce them, I like to mix them, all that stuff. I didn't mix everything on this record. I had a mixer come in. I let go of the reins sometimes because I thought I have a theory. The song always wins. A song like Wayfarer, the second song on the record, I had Teddy Zigzag come in and do a keyboard part. Man, his performance was incredible. So I took my guitars off the song because I thought what Teddy did really made the song come alive way in a different direction than I thought it would. So once again, the song wins. So I have to step back sometimes and let the music, like I said, kind of do the talking, and I don't control it too much. The song, to me, the song wins.
So apparently it took only 30 days. I know you're not involved in this, but it took 30 days to make Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 combined. Is that possible at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really accurate. I mean, look, when you're in the studio, like a studio that you're paying, $2,000 to $3,000 a day, you do tend to work harder. When you're in like mine, where I can record a couple hours a day, it takes a little bit longer waiting on schedules. I honestly don't know if that's true, but the guys were in town together. But every record is different, man. Every record's different. Just like every time you get COVID, it's different. That's just the way it is.
So how was it like to be playing in front of 100,000 people for one of the world's hottest bands at that time, Guns N' Roses? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it feels great in the sense that I didn't feel great in the sense that it felt like I accomplished something. I didn't. I felt good in the sense of this is what I love to do, to play guitar. I love to play great music, whether it's mine or somebody else's music. It just felt good to be doing what I love to do and have people appreciate it. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I know that it's Slash and it's Axl, it's Guns N' Roses, but it's still, I'm doing my part. And my part was an important part too. It's not like I was, like I said, the security guy. It was important to me, but it felt good. There are moments on that tour where I, like when I do my Wild Horses thing, I came out by myself and start playing, where you take a moment and you go, okay, like I did have those moments. But it's also because, when I got the gig, I was 30 years old. I had already been through the ringer, man. I knew what it's like to play a shitty club in front of, 3 people. So when I got that gig, I appreciated what was special and unique about that gig.
Are you still friends with Axl?
I'll always be friends with Axl. Absolutely. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he still sends notes every now and then.
Yeah. So apparently, you did not get fired. The paycheck did not arrive. And the band was disbanded.
We'll never know the answer to that question. There's only one person that knows, and until we ask him, I have no idea what happened.
And it'll be excellent, usually. Yeah. So look, I actually knew you. To be honest, I actually knew you from Rockstar Supernova, the show. To me, that is one of the best shows ever, mate. And I still YouTube Lucas Ross's performance of Creep, by Radiohead.
Oh yeah,
remember that? So my question is, when did you actually know that he was going to be the winner? Surely not right to the end, isn't it? I'm sure you guys knew it before that.
Well, I got to tell you, Tommy liked him right away. Tommy loved him right away. He's like, that's the guy. I was torn. I liked Delana. I thought Delana was the right person. I really did. I mean, look, was it a challenge? A woman in a band with all guys? Of course, but I really thought that she was unique and had really something, different, to bring to the table. I did feel it when I heard them sing on our music. Like we had already recorded some stuff and they sang on it. That's when I knew that Lucas is the right guy. I still think Lucas did a fantastic job on the record. I thought he brought something that nobody else could. Not saying Delana couldn't do it. I'm just saying that's when I knew, is when I heard him sing on the record.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so finally, would we see you in? Obviously, we're not going to see you in November, are we? With the Guns Roses tour in Australia.
No, 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 no.
Okay. Look, I really hope that this will be over soon, and yeah, we would be seeing you as a solo artist or with someone
Yeah.
else. And
That's what we're
yeah,
hoping. We're really trying. I mean, we just did our first gigs 2 weeks ago in front of people. We don't have any more for a while. It was an experiment. And yeah, I mean, we are where we are right now. Hopefully we'll all get to this at some point.
yeah. Yeah, and I have said I really enjoy your latest album, and yeah, I really hope to see you soon. And if you do come to Perth, mate, let's have a drink, all right?
Right on. I'm up for that, man. We'll have a lager.
Thank you, Gilby, so much for this.
Thank you, brother. Be
See you,
good, man.
bro. See you, bye.